Hi, my name is Kitty. I'm 25 years old and I'm a finalist in the Miss Canterbury pageant this year. As a part of this journey, all of the finalists are holding fundraisers for the charity I Am Hope, which is a charity that helps young people in our community better understand their mental health journey and put emphasis on the fact that they are not alone in their fight or in their thoughts. As a teenager, I really struggled with my own mental health and lost a few people I knew along the way to suicide. So this is a topic that is really close to my heart. I wanted to do something to showcase the strength of the people I know and to prove that there is a light at the end of the tunnel that you may not always see. I've got together some of my friends, acquaintances and other finalists to share their stories about the things that they experienced as teenagers. Today we will be exploring the critical topic of mental health struggles among youth. In today's fast-paced world, young people face unique challenges that can take a toll on their well-being, from academic pressure to social media influences. Today's discussion delves into the complexities of youth mental health, shedding light on the importance of support, understanding, and breaking the stigma around mental illness.
G'day, I'm Shan, 30 years old.
Hi, I'm Brooke. I'm 25 years of age.
Hi, I'm Mel. I'm 26. I'm Misa Brown and I'm 23 years old.
If I could go back and tell my younger self
One thing, it would be
Being vulnerable is okay, talking about it's okay, especially with your friends.
be more confident, just really believe in myself, telling myself like I can do things rather than you can't.
not take issues specifically within friend groups at high school so seriously. Stop trying to fit in. You weren't born to fit in. It's okay to be yourself. There's nothing wrong with being different.
Just telling myself that, in the end everything does work out and you're never alone and it's always going to be okay.
Being able to know your friends' mental health as well is very important, because sometimes it can save your friends' lives.
How comfortable were you discussing your mental health with your parents or guardians during your teenage years?
Being that the old man was a tradie, and that both parents were relatively distant, sometimes into drinking and stuff like that as well, I didn't feel that comfortable. Kind of felt like a taboo subject at times, so there wasn't really any comfort with being able to discuss that around my parents or anyone around that age or anything like that.
Looking back to your preteen years, can you recall any signs or moments when you first became aware of challenges related to your mental health?
Yeah, definitely. Distinctively remember a time I was walking with my grandfather, being bullied through pretty much most of my school life, talking to him about a time I just didn't want to be here anymore, and that was probably the first time I thought about genuinely taking my own life, and I believe I was 11 or 12 years old at the time. So yeah, that's definitely something that sticks out as probably even the first real mental health struggle that I ever had.
So looking back to your teenage years, did you find it hard to communicate your emotions with the people around you?
Yeah, I did struggle quite a bit, I think, just because I felt almost like embarrassed and just like, I just feel like back then it wasn't really something that was talked about much, and I think I reached out to a couple of family members and they were just kind of like, it's fine, like it just wasn't, it's almost like I wasn't believed that I was actually feeling these things and, like having those suicidal thoughts and everything. So it was really hard sometimes to actually like reach out, because you never knew what sort of reaction you were going to get. So it was just really hit or miss. So yeah.
Yeah, and I do feel that, especially when you're a teenager, there's a lot of stigma around, I guess the grown-ups in your life.
Yeah.
They don't believe that a child can feel those kind of emotions. So yeah, I can completely understand that's something I struggled with as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, again, like the bullying at school and everything has a huge role to play, and just, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Looking towards the future, what changes or improvements would you like to see in the way that society addresses youth mental health issues?
So I think there needs to be like a better system for the younger generation to reach out and get help for their mental health and stuff. I just feel like, again, they're young, they're not suffering like that. So I just think even at school or even primary school, just having some sort of like system and more like of a support for that, and also just for it to be talked about a lot more. Like, I think a lot of people are still so scared to, talk about how they feel and everything just because of society. So yeah, it would be great to see more support and just more easier, things to access for the younger generation and stuff.
So the great thing about the I Am Hope charity is, so they are getting into schools. They go into primary level schools and high schools, and they do talk about these sorts of things with kids. So they have a lot of resources available for opening up, having those conversations, and trying to break that stigma around the sort of thoughts that we have as kids and as young teenagers. So yeah, that's a really big part of what they are bringing to the table and what they are trying to do as a charity. Reflecting on your teenage years, can you share any positive aspects or personal growth that emerged from your experiences and your mental health struggles?
Yeah, definitely. When I was a teenager, I didn't really want to talk about it, talk about mental health, and I didn't utilise the counsellors and supports that I had. But growing up, I've realised that it's okay to talk about it and it should be talked about, and that therapy is a really useful tool. Sometimes you just need to find the right therapist, or even just talking to somebody that you trust, that cares about you, like your family or close friends.
So how did your mental health struggles influence your sense of identity and self-esteem as a teenager?
Well, I didn't really know how to talk about my mental health. And when I did, I found that it sort of led to my friends, or people that I thought were my friends, excluding me more. It sort of just led to more bullying in my experience. So, yeah.
Yeah, it can be hard, I guess, as well with people around us who don't understand what we're going through. Not everybody, I guess, has mental health struggles. So, especially as a young person, it can be quite alienating. Especially if you go out of your way to talk about your feelings, and then it's sort of like nobody wants to know about it.
Yeah, definitely. I found that the people that I was hanging out with, they didn't seem to understand how to respond. I didn't even know how to express how I was feeling. I had a really hard time communicating with people and letting them know, why I might be a bit distant or want to spend time by myself. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was quite alienating.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
How did your experiences with mental health during your youth impact your sense of belonging with your social circle and friend groups?
So my mental health wasn't great from the get-go. But growing up, I didn't have a very good childhood, so I grew up with a lot of trauma. And so following into high school, it was very hard to make specific connections with any sort of friend group, especially going to a Catholic all-girls school. That was quite pretentious, so there wasn't a lot of people that I could connect with. And so therefore I jumped friend group to friend group, never stuck around with the same people, never made real connections, never made proper friends I could sort of confide in. Until my last year I did. It was very hard to build relationships.
Looking back, what do you wish parents, educators or mental health professionals had understood better about understanding and supporting you and your youth with your mental health struggles?
So I found that a lot of school counsellors, teachers, I lived with my grandparents through my high school years, and it was, whenever there was an issue, it was always just, this is temporary, this is teenage hormones, you'll get over it. So it was sort of just pushed under the rug and expected to just go away, when instead of that happening, it just made things worse. So I think it would help a lot if they would take it more seriously when it comes to youth and younger people with mental issues, because it's not a phase. They it carries on into adulthood and it can affect you very, very severely.
Yeah, absolutely.